Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine with Nick Beres.
Good morning, everyone. Nick Beres here on MorningLine. It's good to have you with us on this Tuesday. We got a good show on tap. This is our regular visit this morning as we talk Social Security. Okay, the questions can come from you. The number on the screen, 737-7587 on Social Security disability. You're applying for your Social Security. How long do you want to wait? How much can you get? Social Security insurance. I know many of you have that, and you're in maybe the appellate process right now because you've been denied a claim. All of that is open game this morning for you. You know the phone lines usually pick up as the show progresses, so if you've got a question or a comment, join us because Josh Horn is the one who is going to be more than capable of answering those questions. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Get back at it again. It's good to see you.
Yeah,
Once
absolutely.
a month coming on, and we'll get to the calls in a second, but again, just to start the show off, is there anything? And the thing is, Social Security just doesn't change much. But I always want to ask if there's something you want to throw out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple things going on right now. Number one, it's getting close to one of our busy seasons. We got about 3 busy seasons a year: January, June, and October. That's kind of the busier time.
Now, why is that June?
Well, June is probably, I think it's because it's the beginning of summer. A lot of teachers may be retiring. A lot of folks choose to retire at the beginning of the summer. So we see a lot of traffic pick up in June and early July before it kind of slows back down a little bit before the October rush, which I guess is because it's at the beginning of the fiscal year for the federal government. And I mean, there's just a lot of reasons people will retire then too. And then, of course, January is the beginning of the year. So right now is a little bit of that lull. So it's a great time to come in and see us if you've got questions, if you want to file for benefits, if you need to take care of business. You know, I recommend not waiting till June. So I always like to throw that out about this time of the year. The other thing that I'd like to mention this morning, we mentioned it last time, but that is the new Medicare numbers that are coming out. They're removing the Social Security numbers from the Medicare cards, and so over the next year or two, you're going to see some different things. And first of all, anybody who's signing up for a Medicare card or signing up for Medicare, when they get their card, they will no longer have their Social Security number on there as their Medicare number. They're coming up with a new, I think they call it a Medicare Beneficiary Identifier. Anyway, it's just a different number, and that is part of our efforts in removing Social Security numbers from correspondence and other things, so that if you lose either letters, if you lose your Medicare card, if you lose some of this kind of stuff, you don't have your Social Security number out there for somebody to take it.
Identity theft or something like that. So it's a security thing. Now, does that mean when people see this, they're going to have to make a note of, and is that the number they'll be asked about in the future? When would you need to have that Medicare number, the new one, to present it, or on the phone for a claim? You'll have to have that number? Yeah,
typically when you're filing for filing benefits on Medicare, you know, a lot of times you'll have to show your Medicare card to the facility or wherever you're getting your health benefits at the time. They may, if you have to call Medicare, they may ask you for that as well. And for the next year or so, you'll be able to kind of use them interchangeably. But then, after that, and we'll be talking more about it as those time frames come by, you'll need to kind of have your Medicare number or identifier, ready for when you call Medicare or deal with these facilities.
You guys are doing that for everyone? That's millions of people, millions and millions of people, and more in new numbers.
Yeah, starting this summer, everybody, all the existing folks are going to start getting new cards in the mail, and it's kind of a phased-in process.
Okay, watch for it and just be that claim. And again, when you get things in the mail, and that just, we'll get to phone calls in just a moment because they're coming in, but just in terms of fraud and things like this, I want to be clear for folks. I got a call last night from someone who got a call, not from Social Security, but from the IRS. And I've heard from others who have called in with Social Security saying something about, and ultimately whatever the ploy they hit you with requires you to somehow get a gift card or send some money to them. All right, so if someone is getting something in the mail from Social Security, like this card, they should be able to tell by looking at it that it's official, correct? I mean, sometimes these scam artists are really good, especially on the phone, but really good at masking the truth. Any way to be certain if you're getting a call or if you get something in the mail, that it is indeed from Social Security?
Yeah, I mean, I recommend knowing the Social Security numbers, you know, knowing your local office number and then knowing that National 800 number, because if somebody's telling you to call some other number, you know, that's kind of a flag. You know, you may, or you can always call the National 800 number and say, hey, I got this letter, I want to know if it's legit, and they can look up on your record and see, yeah, we sent you that letter, it's on your record, you know, and you need to call in. But, you know, that's another reason why we're removing Social Security numbers from your letters, and really we don't even send out any letters anymore that has your Social Security number on it. When it's a form letter, it's got a new number on there, an identifier number, so that if you call in, we can look that identifier number up. So again, yeah, you got to be real careful with that.
Okay, and you know, these slime bags who try to pull these scams on folks are after one thing, in money. And I'm trying to think under what circumstance Social Security would be requesting money from an individual, and you would at times. You hear sometimes where there may have been some type of overpayment or some kind of clerical error where perhaps you owe some money back to the Social Security Administration, which is never a fun thing, but that can happen. Now, in the unlikely event that that happens, how do they know, or how will you contact these individuals to let them know, look, there was an overpayment, you owe us a bit? Because I know some of the folks who have been scammed are hearing saying, look, you have been overpaid, you need to send a check to this P.O. box, or we're going to send someone over to arrest you. Now, that's baloney. And my rule of thumb in general is anyone ever calling asking you for money, just hang up on them. I don't care who it is, all right, just hang up on them. But Social Security, they calling you and saying, send me a check?
Generally, we correspond when it comes to overpayments and things like that. We correspond by mail. It'll be on our official letterhead. Again, it'll have, you know, if it tells you to call
key numbers
us,
and the numbers
it'll tell
on
us,
there.
yeah, it'll tell you to call either our local office or the National 800 number, and you can always call and verify that information.
Good.
too.
Yeah.
Generally, you know, if you've been talking to us about an overpayment, you kind of know that it's out there. And also, if you're drawing benefits, we work out some kind of repayment agreement, we take it out of your benefits. We don't, typically you don't write us a check or send us money, and you never send us gift cards or anything like that.
Right.
But generally we take it out of your benefit. If it's something where it was on some prior benefits and you're no longer drawing, and so you do need to make installments by writing a check, you can do that at the local Social Security office, you know, or you can send it to the local Social Security office and we can process that for you. You shouldn't be having to send it to some random place that you don't know about and never heard of.
Yeah, it's straightforward stuff on that, but it's so sad to see the number of people who can't afford it getting taken. And truly, this is me telling you, right up, anyone calling you saying you owe us money, or we're sending the police over to arrest you, or you have to send them something, I don't care who it is, you hang up on them and don't worry about it, because it's baloney. It's period, unless you're getting the letter. Law enforcement, Social Security, none of these agencies, the IRS, don't do business that way. But I get calls and emails. If you have a problem with it, you're not sure, you message me on Facebook or call me and I'll take care of it. And if they keep calling you, as I recommend, get yourself an air horn. And when they're saying, say, wait, I can't hear you. Can you hold the, and then blast their eardrum with the air horn. Make sure it's a bad person before you do it. You don't want to make sure you're blasting your mom's ear or something like that. But if someone keeps harassing you like that and they don't stop and they're trying to take your money, blast their ear with an air horn. That's what I've done. Gosh, those people piss me off.
Yeah.
Because they go after the most vulnerable out there, folks who are seeking Social Security or IRS, and I have absolutely no tolerance for them. And if they were in front of me, I don't even want to know what I'd do to them. But if I had a baseball bat, I have an idea. You know, it's just the most reprehensible. And the thing is, they get away with it. They get away with it so often. How hard is it to catch these scam artists after the fact?
Well,
you guys have a fraud
exactly
department, but that's different. That's for folks defrauding Social Security. But I mean, you probably hear from
trying to track these folks down and where they're at and all that is just it's very, very, very trying, and especially the phone calls, because I think a lot of times that's what, you know, I mean, they're trying to do it in different ways with the phone calls and then the phishing emails, and be familiar with what phishing is on your emails, and making sure that you're not being because again, we don't send personal information through email. We don't send that kind of we do not, email for us is not official correspondence. You know, it's either through the mail, it's generally through the mail, and if it's a phone call, we don't ask for your personal information. If we call you, we're not going to be asking for you to give us all this personal information.
That's a really good point. So the best rule of thumb, just forget the air horn, hang up on them, and don't give it a second thought. Do not worry. If you have any questions, message me, call me. and I will put your mind at ease. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, phone lines filling up. We got one open if you want to jump in. Josh, you're a popular guy. Let's take some calls right after this.
Your parents.